Thanks for joining me on another episode of Why Not Go, the channel dedicated to rock and roll, especially punk and especially the Sex Pistols. Well, this is a video about LA punk and the clubs that I used to go to. You know, the most famous clubs in LA are obviously the Whiskey A Go Go and the Roxy, but it's really the smaller clubs where bands really, you know, they started and worked their way up to maybe playing the Whiskey or the Roxy one day. So I'm right here on Hollywood Boulevard. I'm just going to turn the camera around. It's a summer morning here. People are cleaning the streets, they're cleaning the sidewalks, and I still have lots of memories of Hollywood Boulevard. I grew up in LA, suburb of Downey, moved to Hollywood in 1980, but I went to a lot of clubs in the 70s, and I love this restaurant here, Musso and Frank's. It's the oldest restaurant in Hollywood. If anyone ever comes to Hollywood, that's worth going to. It's a beautiful place, been there since 1919, and Charlie Chaplin used to go there and sit in one of the front booths. It's a great place, and that's where Joe and I met, because we both love old vintage stuff. We're gonna go have dinner there in a couple nights. So I'm here on a visit, and I wanted to do a video on punk, the stuff that I remember. And I'm here on the Boulevard because I wanted to start here with the Star for the Go-Go's. Now, the Go-Go's I don't really think of as a punk band, but they definitely had punk roots. They started around the corner at the Masque, and that's where I'm headed next. And I don't know when they got this star, but that's neat that they have a star in Hollywood Boulevard. I remember when they did the dedication, Clem Burke, who played with them sometimes, he was there at the ceremony. So that's neat. So yeah, it's a Tuesday morning here in Hollywood. Kind of sleepy. And I'm headed around the corner. I'll just keep the camera rolling, because in the back of this building, it's called the Shane Building. It's a very old Hollywood building. Kind of look at it there. I love these old Hollywood buildings. And in the basement was the famous Masque. But you had to enter in the back. So I'm going to go there in just a minute. So the building was actually, they call it the Hollywood Center Building, and it's been here since 1927. I just love this old Hollywood stuff. And yeah. Oh, the Screen Actors Guild had its first home here on the second floor. That's neat. Oh, and the Writers Guild was here in the 30s, 33 to 36. There's so much building in Hollywood. Sorry, just love these old buildings. I thought it was called the Shane Building, but it's called oh, it's just called the Hollywood Center Building. That's neat. Okay, so I'm going to walk down here, walking down Cherokee. So right around here was the famous Masque. They used to call it CBGB's West. I don't know. I didn't call it that, but but it was LA's first punk club. You know, London had the Roxy and the Vortex, I guess. And yeah, this is a beautiful building. Hi. So it's a production company now called World of Wonder. And then right across the street is a famous bar, Bordner's. It's actually the oldest bar in Hollywood. Not the oldest sort of establishment, but the oldest bar. It's been there since 1942. It's a cool old bar. A lot of, they do clubs there. Next door, and I came here a lot too, and I think of this as famous because Elizabeth Short used to come here. If anybody follows the Black Dahlia or that story, She was dismembered in, I think it was 1945. So she could have met the man who killed her and dismembered her. She could have met him here, but I love this bar. I love bars that are just dark and original. That's an old Hollywood bar. Lots of stuff has been filmed here. So, all right, so I can't really film much here about the old Masque or sort of the way, the way it used to look, because that alley wasn't always blocked off. That alley used to be open. Now you get a really good look at that building. It's just beautiful. I love these old buildings. So Art Deco. I love these little side streets in Hollywood. So you entered there, and I remember, and then you came in. This used to be a porn theater here. And then I remember that. I didn't go there, but I remember it. And then you entered there and in the alley, and then you went, it was an underground club. I love underground clubs. So yeah, so the Masque was started by Brendan Mullen, and he really added a lot to the city. I'm going to go to another club that he ran called the Club Lingerie that was really one of the best clubs in the 80s. But he opened this August 18th, 1977. And as I said, this was LA's first punk club. The Go-Go started here. I did not see them. Other bands that played here were the Dickies, X, the Germs, the Bags, Alley Cats, the Mau Maus. I remember the Mau Maus, the Zeros, the Weirdos, the Screamers, the Dills. I'll show a picture here of the Screamers playing there. I love the Screamers. They were kind of like early, they were very inventive. They were kind of like early electronic music. I don't remember them having guitars. It was just keyboards. And I'll show a picture here. This was taken at the Masque, the original Masque. And you see Tomato Du Plenty there. And I remember the stage at the Masque was, it wasn't much higher than the floor. It was maybe like 2 or 3 inches above the floor. So on the right in this picture is Darby Crash, and then there, I forget her name, the girl in the middle, I think it's Lorna Pierce. And then the guy there with the dark hair, that's Kid Congo Powers, who's obviously very famous. He was in the Cramps. He has his own band now. I love his band, Kid Congo Powers and the Monkey Birds. So this was such a great club. I absolutely loved it. It didn't last that long though. They closed it down January 14th. That's an important date, right? The end of the Sex Pistols. So January 14th, 1978 wasn't just the end of the Masque, but it was the end of the Sex Pistols too. So it didn't last that long. August 18th, 1977 to January 14th, 1978. And Brendan Mullen, he was from Scotland, and I remember him. He was always kind of a dapper looking guy. Unfortunately, he passed away, I believe, in 2009. And he ran this club, and I guess he ran into problems with the fire marshals because I don't think he had a permit to operate a club. Apparently the rent was only $850 a month, which is incredible. And so it got shut down. He did open up a second one, and I believe the second one was the corner of Santa Monica and Vine. I didn't go to that one. That one went from December 1978 to the spring of 1979. I was already living in England. So at that club, there was a lot of also famous bands that played there, including Wall of Voodoo, the Cramps, the Dead Boys. But that site didn't last long either. And then Brendan Mullen went over to the Club Lingerie, and I'm going to get to that club in this video. But yeah, this is where the original Masque was. Sorry, I can't show you the alleyway or even where you enter, but it was in this building here, and I'll show pictures here where you can see people at the club, and I think I've got a photo where you see the stairs going down. And apparently this production company uses it as a just as storage, but apparently a lot of the graffiti is still there. It was such an exciting time. I know it wasn't London or New York, but the first wave of LA punk was really exciting. One of my favorite bands, I think, was the Germs. Well, I think my favorite bands were the Germs and X and the Screamers. The Screamers were really something. So yeah, it all happened right here. Right here at where you see that World of Wonder sign there. You'd go in the alley, down the steps, and it was the first club here in LA that was just devoted to punk. And Brendan Mullen, like I said, he wasn't even from LA, he wasn't even American, but he added a lot to the city. Oh, he opened the gate. Excuse me, can I just film this? I'm looking for where an old club was, an old punk club. Oh, there's a basement over there, isn't there? Downstairs, yeah.
Down there.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow you to go in there.
I know, it's right over there, right?
See?
Yeah.
Look.
Can I go? Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. He's letting me in. Oh, it was right here, right?
The entrance.
The entrance is here, right?
They say it used to be the entrance.
Was this door here, right?
Yeah.
And because this goes up. Yeah. This one here. Oh, yeah. So you just use it as storage now?
One day a lady came and put some candles because the guy, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, because a punk person.
No, the history book.
It was a very famous punk club. I used to go to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You was how old?
Masque.
How old was you? The thing?
The Masque was here from August 1977 until January 1978. It didn't last that long, about 6 months. But a lot of bands played here. Do you know the band the Go-Go's?
Yes.
They started here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started here. And what's your name?
Alex.
Alex. Thank you, Alex, for letting me in. I've got a lot of memories. I'm just filming this. I have a music channel. But yeah, I remember. And this used to be a porn theater, a pornographic theater. But you enter here and then...
Wait a minute, this one? Over here?
Yeah, it was a porn theater. Yeah, in the 70s. Yeah, but you used to enter here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's here, Liz.
Wow. Oh, thank you for letting me in. I have so many memories of this. Yeah, it was called the Masque. That's great. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Alex. Oh, I'm glad I got in. Thank you to the nice man there. Wow. Well, I'm so glad that that nice man Alex let me in there. That was great. So you saw the entrance to the old Masque, and one of my greatest memories there was that's the first time I ever listened to the album Nevermind the Bollocks. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that okay now. Yeah, I remember the DJ. I don't remember who the DJ was, but I know the album came out in. I think it was October 28th in the UK and November 11th in the States. But my friend Sue and I, who I followed the Sex Pistols on tour with, we were there, and the DJ kept playing like all these Sex Pistol songs, and I didn't know all of them. And then I went over to his DJ booth, and that was the first time I saw the cover. And we were just so excited. He must have gotten like an early import. So we were just, I think it must have been between bands, and I remember we were the only ones dancing. I don't know, maybe everybody else was drinking or something, but I remember we were dancing up a storm and hearing some songs that, you know, it was a different world back then, you know, without the internet. And I remember hearing songs I'd never heard before, probably like, I don't know, Problems or Bodies, and we were just so thrilled. So I always remember the Masque as being, where I saw some really great early bands coming out of LA, but that's the place where I first heard the Sex Pistols album, and that was such a nice memory. So, okay, well, you saw the door, at least you saw the entrance, and now I'm going to go to the next club location, LA. Yeah, they're going to knock down all these old apartment buildings here. I love these old apartment buildings. I'm guessing they've probably been here since the 40s. And people probably had cheap rent with rent control. And that's all ending, I'm sure, when they knock all these down. I must say, I've been gone a few years, coming back. Not all the character is gone in Hollywood, but some of it is. All right, behind me is another important club in LA history. This was the Club Lingerie. And this is where Brendan Mullen, after he ran the Masque, he came here. He was the talent booker. I'm at 6507 Sunset Boulevard, and that way goes to West Hollywood. Yeah, this was a great club. I loved it. At the end of this video, I'll play a short video of us doing our song "Something Inside Me Has Died" here in 1984. So Brendan Mullen, he booked this place from when it opened in '81 till when it closed in the early '90s. It closed around 1995. He was great, and he really loved the Red Hot Chili Peppers. In fact, on one of their albums, they have a song where they mentioned him. And as I said, he passed away in 2009, but he really championed a lot of bands. He loved the band that I was in, Kommunity FK. We played here a lot, and it was a nice club. The bar was on the left. The stage was just on the other side of this wall here on the right. It was a nice club. I remember running into Steve Jones when I was here once. He said that he remembered me delivering his jacket, and he was just being nice. But it was a nice club. There was tables around the bar, and definitely wasn't like the Masque. This was, it was a rock club, but it was pretty nice for a rock club. I remember whenever we played, if any of the band's parents would come to see us, they would. If they did, they'd come to see us here. My parents never did, but some of the parents would. So yeah, and so some of the bands, I remember it was a very eclectic mix of bands that he booked. I remember seeing the Plasmatics here, which was kind of crazy to see them in a small club. X played here. The Chili Peppers a lot. I remember seeing them here, and but interesting stuff. Like I remember seeing Edith Massey here. She was in the John Waters movies, The Egg Lady. She performed here. It was a really great club. It was kind of a mixture of punk, goth. I saw the Mau Mau's here. Very 80s. I mean, it's not early punk like the Masque, but it was one of the best clubs, in my opinion, in this town in the 80s. And it was all to do with Brendan Mullen. Yeah, some of the bands that played here, besides X and the Chili Peppers, Jane's Addiction, Hole, Nirvana, Four Non Blondes, the Pixies, Rage Against the Machine. I didn't see all of those. I came here a lot in the early 80s, and there was a great club called The Veil that was here. I think it was Monday nights in the early 80s, and that was kind of like a new romantic club that very important people on the scene at the time, Henry Peck and Joseph Brooks, they were DJs, and they also had this store, Vinyl Fetish, on Melrose. They had a club here called The Veil. So yeah, I miss this place. That was great. Club Lingerie. Maybe I'll just kind of go a little closer here. Yeah, I don't remember 2 doors actually. Looks like it's some kind of club now called the Warwick. 1980s LA. It was fun. All right, another punk club, or another club rather, that I wanted to cover was the Cathay de Grand. It's everything's painted black. I'll kind of zero in. It's right where the right between those 2 cars there, where you see an awning. And it was another underground club where you went downstairs. I always love clubs like that. We're at the corner of Argyle and Selma. This is kind of what's happening in Hollywood the last couple decades. They're building these huge buildings like these here. But I love these smaller buildings here because it's the old Hollywood. So the Cathay de Grand, it opened in 1973 and closed in 1985. But it was between 1980 and 85 that it was a rock club. And a guy named Michael Brennan took over and started booking punk bands in 1980. He booked the Angry Samoans, the Flesh Eaters, the Gun Club. And when I first played with Kommunity FK, my very first show, we opened for the Gun Club. And I love the Gun Club with Jeffrey Lee Pierce, of course, and Patricia Morrison on bass, who's now married to Dave Vanian. And this was such a cool club. And also, I mentioned in the other club, at the Lingerie, the Veil, which was a kind of new romantic club, that started here and then moved over to the Lingerie. But it was a great club, and I'll post a photo here. That's my friend Sue and I, who I went to see the Sex Pistols with. And in this photo, I think it's looking down the stairs as you enter the club. And I'm channeling my best Louise Brooks outfit there with my bob, and she's looking very 1950s. That was so much fun. I remember dancing there with, I don't know, Deborah Isle, the singer that sings that song, I Might Like You Better If We Slept Together. Can't remember the name of the band right now. And it was a great club, but a lot of bands played here. And including the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This was the first club they played at with the name the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Apparently before that they played a couple times, but apparently before that they had a different name. They were called Tony, Flo, and the Miraculously Majestic Masters of Mayhem. But anyway, so this is the first club that they played at as the Chili Peppers. The Minutemen played here, Bad Religion, Tex and the Horseheads, Butthole Surfers, Agent Orange, Replacements. Yeah, so many bands played here, and I guess the guy that booked the place, his name was Danny Dobbs Wilson. He went on after this closed in '85 to book Raji's. That was another punk place that was on Hollywood Boulevard. I didn't go there that much because, I don't know, I went there a few times though. And then apparently on a NoFX album, so I guess that's a 90s band, they mentioned the Cathay in a song. A guy named Fat Mike sings, "Cathay, I miss your smell." And when it closed down in 1985, the Circle Jerks played here on the last night. So not the first wave of punk, but it definitely has a place in punk history, punk and goth history here. I miss it, the Cathay de Grand. That was a great club. Fantastic club. I'll get a little closer look in a sec. All right, so that ends my club tour of LA. Hope you liked it. A lot of memories of kind of the first wave of punk and then going into the 80s with punk and goth and new romantic. I love these clubs, these old clubs that aren't here anymore. Like this one behind me, the Cathay de Grand. I had a lot of fun here. And I enjoyed playing in Kommunity FK and performing here, and I really love seeing bands here. So Anyway, I'm feeling a little sad right now. Time goes on, what are you gonna do? Anyway, thanks for watching. Until the next time, I'll be seeing ya.